Hello and welcome to another episode of the Golden Wrestling Combo. It is July 13th, and the Cruiserweight Classic's first episode just finished airing, so I'm going to recap it for you and give you my thoughts on it. I'm very excited going into it. Nakamura versus Balor was really great. I rated that a 4.5. And then right after that, we got the Cruiserweight Classic tournament, and I've been excited for this for years. I was probably excited for this before I even knew it happened. You know what I mean? Watching the Cruiserweight tournaments from Japan and always wishing that there was something like this in the U.S. You know, they got me with the long con, and it's finally happened here in the States, and I couldn't be happier as a pro wrestling fan. So the show started off, and we got Alejandro Saez versus Grand Metallic, which I had predicted Metallic would win, and he did win. So I started off the night being 1-1. Guessed correctly. I thought the match was great. I thought it was really solid. I gave it a 3.75 on my initial reaction. But now that I thought about it, I think it's about a 3.25. Really good, but unfortunately, Saez looked a little green in some parts. He wasn't as fluid as he should have been, and his form was a little off. However, the shooting star press from the ring and apron was awesome as hell. So I still gotta give it like a 3.25 or 3.5. I think Metallic was phenomenal. I think a lot of fans really enjoyed what Metallic did, and I think they did a lot to build for the later rounds in the tournament. That's the beauty of the tournaments like this, is that if you watch them from beginning to end, they'll tell a really long story with the ring work, and I love stuff like that. So yeah, great match. Metallic moved on, I guess, correctly, 1-1. My final rating would be about a 3.25 out of 5. And then we had Daivari versus Ho Ho Lun, which I thought was passable. It wasn't that great, but it was a passable match. I had predicted Ho Ho Lun winning, which he did. The crowd was very behind Ho Ho Lun and very anti-Daivari. Well done, Full Sail. That wasn't racist at all. My God, like, dude is from a country and automatically you boo him just because he's from a country. Like, come on, man. The fuck? They didn't even say he was a heel. He didn't even start acting like a heel until they started booing him. Like, come on, man. What the fuck? I mean, it's fine, but I guess I just expect more from NXT fans who are supposed to be smart fans. Like, I expect a little more. But, you know, that's what it is. Ho Ho Lun moves on. Daivari played the heel well. I'm not sure if he was supposed to be a heel, but he played the heel well. I'm guessing they probably knew he would end up having to play the heel, especially since it was his brother's namesake. But if you watch like the bracketology and the promos they had beforehand, he wasn't booked as a heel. Nobody in this tournament was booked as a bad guy. But simply because he's from a certain country, automatically they start booing him. I think that's bullshit. But hey, you know, whatever. I can't tell everybody what to think. So, you know, if you feel like booing somebody because they're from a certain country, good for you. Just I guess I wouldn't. I guess that's the final thing I would say. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't boo somebody just because they're from a certain country. If you want to hate me for that, feel free. So then Ho Ho Lun wins over Daivari. Ho Ho Lun looked green as shit. Like I said, Saez looked pretty green. He did, but Ho Ho Lun looked even more so. But I think that has more to do with the fact that he was, perhaps the nerves got to him. I'm not too sure. But however, I will say about Ho Ho Lun, when he hit that German suplex, the bridge was beautiful. So there's potential there. I also think that his facial expressions were on point, and he looked like he belonged in the ring. Some of his hands gestures were a little too much, but like I said, that could have just been nerves. I'm happy he advanced. I guess that one correctly as well. Like I said, somebody from China has to move on, and it is Ho Ho Lun, so that makes me 2 for 2. Then we had Cedric Alexander versus Clement Periot, which was very impressive. Such an impressive match. Alexander hit a head scissors, which looked beautiful. And his finishers always look beautiful. If you haven't seen the one he landed on Candice LeRae, check it out. It looked amazing. So yeah, Cedric and Periot really had a fun match. I think Periot played the heel very well, which is odd because, like, it seems that the fans at Full Sail are expecting flippy shit, and if you don't do flippy shit, then you're automatically a heel, which is like, come on, man, there's more to cruiserweights than flippy shit. Like, that's all they've been saying in fucking bracketology and in the fucking promos. That's all they've been. There's more to cruiserweights than flippy shit, but you automatically, like, for some reason, American wrestling fans have to make somebody a face and a heel. There has to be a good guy and a bad guy, which is, I mean, you know, you pay your money for your ticket, so you gotta do what you gotta do, but personally, like, there's no need for that in a tournament like this. Everybody should be a face in a tournament like this. Everybody should be a good guy. They're all just trying to put on a good fucking match, and there's no real storylines. You know what I mean? But, you know, Petio noticed that he was getting booed because he doesn't do flippy shit, so he played the heel, which, he, you know, to his credit, it worked. So, you know, this is one of those situations where I'm talking a lot of shit about the fans, but to their credit, it worked. The match was more entertaining because Petio was a heel. So, you know, this is one of the ones where I can, you know, I can concede and say, hey, you know what, fans, you guys were right. The match worked better this way. So yeah, Petio did a great job being a heel. Cedric did a good job being the good guy. You know, he took the beating and did the big comeback, you know what I mean? And the match looked good because of it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I believe I rated that a 3.75. So, just to recap really fast before we go into the last match, I had Metallic and Saez as a 3.75 originally, but then I brought it down to a 3.25 or 3.5 around there. Ho Ho Lun versus Davari, I believe I had it around a 2.5 or a 2.75. They both just looked really inexperienced in there, and it looked like the nerves were really getting to them. Cedric Alexander versus Clement Petio, I had it around a 3.75, 3.5, around there. Just a little bit better than Saez versus Metallic. And the only reason I think it was better than Saez versus Metallic is because Saez was perhaps nervous, or something was up with Saez where he didn't look as comfortable as he should have been. The form on some of his moves weren't fully extended. Like, he did a drop kick that looked pretty bad. If he would have just had a little bit better form, I think that match would have been right up there with Cedric versus Petio. It may have actually been better. But, you know, overall, I think Cedric Alexander versus Clement Petio, up until that point, was the match of the night. I did have Cedric Alexander winning, which puts me at 3 for 3. And then we had Kota Ibushi versus Sean Maluta, which surprised the hell out of me. If it wasn't for the fact that they told me Sean Maluta was green, I would have never guessed. He came out wearing like SEMA trunks, and he hit a frog splash that was similar to SEMA's. He hit a brutal super kick that Ibushi took right on the chin. Props to Ibushi. It actually left a mark on his chin, like his chin was red and looked like it was starting to swell up a bit. Brutal super kick. I don't know if Ibushi told him, yeah, go ahead, just kick me for real, who gives a shit, or what the fuck happened there. But Maluta kicked the fuck out of him. Maluta did botch the fuck out of some move. Unsure if he botched it. It looked like a botch. You know what I mean? It smelled like a botch. It looked like a botch. I don't know. But he was able to land safely. So maybe he botched, realized he botched, and decided to just tumble towards safety. Or maybe that was his move, in which case, if that was your move, I'm still going to deduct points because that shit looked ugly. Ibushi wins with the last ride into a sit-out powerbomb. Excellent form on his moonsault to the outside. Full extension. It looked beautiful. Standing moonsault looked nice. Beautiful extension on all of the drop kicks by Ibushi. Maluta hit a nice code breaker, a catch code breaker. Ibushi went for the flying nothing, and then Maluta hit a code breaker. And then Ibushi sold the fuck out of it. It was great. He oversold it, but like, it's Ibushi, so it looked good, even though it was an oversell. And Ibushi wins. I rated that one 4 out of 5. So it was really good. Obviously, I'm really hype about this. If you want to get what would be considered normal ratings, you know, take about maybe half a point or a point off, and you would probably get Meltzer's ratings. Excuse me. But I'm really excited for this event. So these are my ratings. This is my personal opinion. I was hype as fuck. I guessed Ibushi correctly, obviously, which means I went 4 for 4 tonight. Very happy with that outcome. As of right now, I get to glow. I have a perfect bracket so far. I went 4 for 4. Thank you for watching. Like always, I hope you enjoyed it. If you watched it, hell of a night for pro wrestling. I'm unsure if I should watch Lucha Underground. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, but I'm a little tired of pro wrestling right now. So I'll probably be getting some sleep. Like always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to talk wrestling, I'm here. If you want to talk video games, you know what I'm saying, we can do that too. It is what it is. Thanks so very much for being on my channel. I appreciate it. V for victory, and peace.